I like to dedicate this to all of the Creator's righteous children. I have some food in my bag for you. Not that edible food, that food you eat? No. I have some food for thought. Since knowledge is infinite, it has infinitely fell on me.
Peace. Welcome back to my series, Forever Flowers. Today on Forever Flowers, we're going to be talking about a rapper, a hip-hop star, an actor, a personality, a person who has been doing it for the longest. And I don't really feel like he gets his flowers, but that's probably because he's been slipping up a lot lately and people aren't taking him seriously. But we're going to talk about him, and his name is Shad Moss, aka Bow Wow, aka Little Bow Wow. So yeah, Bow Wow, Little Bow Wow, however you still want to see him, Shad Moss, whatever. He is a rapper, he is a actor, and he is a personality. He hosts a lot of things. He is a TV star. He's been in a bunch of movies, and he is most famous for being a rapper. I know lately he's been slipping up and doing a lot of craziness and just being crazy on the internet. But we all have to remember that Little Bow Wow, Shad Moss, he actually was famous before the internet even became a thing. So Bow Wow is a millennial. He's part of my generation, and he's been famous since he was basically 5 years old. Most people found out about him back in the day when he first came onto the scene, and he was rapping on the Arsenio Hall show, and he was 5 years old, cussing up a storm and being crazy and reckless. But he was really cute, and Snoop Dogg actually discovered him. And when Snoop Dogg discovered him, he put him on the Arsenio Hall show. He saw the potential in him, and he was actually signed to Death Row for a hot minute. But Snoop Dogg also knew that he was only a little kid and he shouldn't be around all of these gangsters and all these people. So he decided to turn him over to JD, Jermaine Dupri, and that was probably the best decision that Snoop Dogg ever made. When he gave him over to Jermaine Dupri, who had already basically worked with Criss Cross and many other different kid rappers, kid entertainers, it was a perfect fit. And that was how we got the Little Bow Wow that we knew to love. He did lots of different hits over his 20-year rap career. And it was all really amazing because you have to think about this. Bow Wow, Little Bow Wow, Shad Moss, he came about in the mid-90s and would become really huge. Really, really huge without the internet. And I think a lot of people forget that Bow Wow was Little Bow Wow, Shad Moss, was one of the last remaining artists from my generation, from the millennials, to really make it big without the internet. Because many of the other millennials that would come out later would be because of the internet. People like Soulja Boy and other people would make it huge, but that would be because of the internet. Now, Shad Moss was lucky and fortunate enough to have people around him that saw his potential at an early age and was able to be successful with that. And it turned into many different albums. He did the Scream tour about 1 billion times, it felt like, and sold them out. And he was in a bunch of movies like Mike, Roll Bounce, and many, many others. He was on NCIS, LA, New York, New Orleans, one of them, I can't remember. And he was Mr. 106 in Park. He did many different things. And it was it's really great to see his success. And because he had success so early in his life, I think that's why he's having sort of, I don't want to call it an existential crisis, but it feels like that way, He has a beautiful baby girl, And I just think that he's bored and doesn't really know what to do with his life right now. I think personally that he should just stick with acting at this point, because he's one of those rappers who, at this point, not to say he doesn't have anything else to say, but I just feel like he just should do his acting, because I think he's a really good actor, to be honest. I think he's a really good actor, and he could even act, as a rapper. Like, he could be an actor. He could, play, roles of a rapper while he's acting, you know what I mean? And I think that would be cool, too. So, I just hope that Bow Wow gets his life together, kind of, because I feel like he's one of those legends who became a legend really early, and that's why it feels like, because I feel like a lot of people forget that he started when he was 5 years old. Like, he started literally rapping when he was 5 years old. He was part of Death Row at 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, that's, he sold out the Scream tour many times, and he was in high chart topping movies. And I just think that people forget about all these things and, don't really take Bow Wow seriously as a artist and as a actor. And I just think that people need to look at him more for the accomplishments that he's had over the years, because I think those accomplishments are really important. And I just wanted to give him his flowers while he's here, because I feel like that's important. I feel like Bow Wow really deserves to have these flowers, because I feel like a lot of people are not giving him the flowers he deserves, and that might be why he's tripping. That might be why he's feeling the way he is, because he's not recognized the same way certain other artists are out there. And I think that's wrong, and I think that's kind of messed up. And I feel like that's not just Bow Wow, but many artists who were kids in the 90s, or and that includes actors, rappers, singers who were kid artists in the 90s and then sort of grew out of it and kind of hit their peak and then sort of went downhill, or just kind of fell out of existence in the entertainment world. And I feel like that was a problem, because they deserve to be recognized, you know what I mean? Just because they're not really doing it big like they were back when they were really big in the 90s or the early 2000s doesn't mean that they shouldn't have their flowers given to them, because they made an impact on millennials' lives, and even Gen X and sometimes Gen Z. So I feel like these people are important. They need to be recognized. And I think that giving people their flowers early or on time is important. So I just wanted to give Bow Wow, Little Bow Wow, Shad Moss, his props and his flowers, because I personally was a really big fan of Little Bow Wow, Shad Moss. I thought he was a really great actor. I think that he was a really good rapper, and I like a lot of his music, and I thought he was cool. Like Mike is a classic. Roll Bounce is awesome, and he's had hit after hit after hit, and I just really appreciate him. So shout out to Shad Moss, shout out to Little Bow Wow, shout out to Bow Wow, and I hope that you continue to have more success in your life than ever before, because I feel like you deserve it, and I feel like you're important in this culture. So this has been Forever Flowers. Peace.